Hello everyone, welcome back to Log. So in the previous session, I have discussed about shape selective catalysis by zeolites and enzyme catalysis. Okay, just we recall the concept. Yes, what do you mean by shape selective catalysis? Yes, it's a type of catalysis. It's a type of catalysis, right? What type of catalysis? Yes, shape selective catalysis. Andre first engine it is a type of catalysis. Okay, here the catalysis depends on what? Depends on the pore structure. Okay, depends on the pore structure. Pore structure of what? Pore structure of catalyst. Okay, pore structure of catalyst, and further what we are saying? Shape and size. Size of reactant molecules. Please remember, if I consider shape selective catalysis, yes, it's a type of catalysis in which the catalysis depends on pore structure. Catalysis depends on the pore structure of catalyst and shape and size of reactant molecules. So it's called shape selective catalysis. And what are the examples for shape selective catalysis? I said zeolites. So zeolites are the chemical substances. They exhibit shape selective catalysis. Okay. Well, further I considered the nature, or I can say meaning of a zeolites. Yes, what are zeolites? Zeolites are basically alumino silicates. Zeolites are basically aluminum silicates having three-dimensional framework of silicates. They have a three-dimensional framework of a silicates. In these, what happens? Most of the silicon atoms are replaced by aluminum atoms, which leads to aluminium oxygen silicon framework. So zeolites, please remember what are zeolites? Zeolites are aluminosilicates with a three-dimensional network of or three-dimensional framework of silicates in which most of the silicon atoms are replaced by aluminium, which gives aluminium oxygen silicon framework. Okay, and further I said the most commonly employed zeolite, what is that? ZSM5. So it is the most commonly employed zeolite, ZSM5. Even in I said about this, what do you mean by ZSM? It is the zeolite, right? Zeolite, S means sieve, SIEV, sieve of molecular porosity 5. Please remember that ZSM5 means it is a zeolite sieve of molecular porosity 5. Well, further we considered enzyme catalysis. Next concept ಏನು discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು? enzyme catalysis ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. Yes, what is enzyme catalysis? As I said, enzymes are nothing but proteins. Basically, ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು? Enzymes are basically they are proteinaceous substances, or I can say simply proteins, which catalyzes okay, which catalyzes various biochemical reaction. Okay, which catalyzes various biochemical reactions. So these enzymes are also called biocatalyst. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು? The enzymes are also called biocatalyst, and that phenomenon is called enzyme catalysis. Okay. Well, now in this session, we are going to deal with the characteristics of enzyme catalysis. Okay, in the last session I have discussed about enzyme catalysis and examples also. Now we consider characteristics of an enzyme catalysis. Well, coming to the characteristics of enzyme catalysis, the first characteristics is, say it is most highly efficient. Means enzyme catalysis is going to have a highly efficient in nature. So if I consider characteristics, what is the first characteristics we are considering? Most highly efficient. Why we are saying means, say we know that say reactant molecules are converted into product with the help of enzyme. So this conversion, the conversion of reactant into product, if it is catalyzed by presence of enzyme, then is considered as a enzyme catalysis. Now here, what is a we are saying most highly efficient. Okay, first characteristic is most highly efficient. Yes, what is the purpose why we are saying most highly efficient? Means here one enzyme, if I consider the numbers, one enzyme, quantitatively one enzyme, okay, has ability, it has a tendency to convert 1 million 1 million reactants 1 million reactants into product. ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, one enzyme has a ability to convert 1 million reactant molecules into product. How much time is needed for it? Just in 1 minute. ಅಂದ್ರೆ if I consider reaction just in 1 minute, ಈ 1 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, yes, in enzyme catalysis an enzyme can convert 1 million reactant molecules into product within 1 minute. How many enzymes are needed? Just one enzyme. Therefore, what we are saying, it is mostly efficient process. So, one molecule of an enzyme, okay, one molecule of an enzyme may transform 1 million molecules of reactant into product per minute. That too in 1 minute. Therefore, we say it is most highly efficient. Okay, got it? So the first characteristic is the most highly efficient process. Why we are saying, since one enzyme has the ability to convert, okay, transfer 1 million reactant molecules into product per minute. Therefore, we say it is most highly efficient. Well, now coming to the second one, what we are saying, second one is highly specific in nature. What is the second characteristics? Highly specific in nature. Yes, why we are saying highly specific means one enzyme, okay, an enzyme can catalyze only one type of reaction but not all. Okay, so we said invertase is an enzyme. One example on in one of, while dealing with examples, say sucrose is converted into glucose plus fructose. ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಾ? Say sucrose can be converted into glucose plus fructose in presence of which enzyme? What is the name of enzyme? Invertase. Okay, invertase is an enzyme. So here this invertase enzyme is going to catalyze only this reaction, but is not involved in any other conversion. Say maltose to glucose. Yes, invertase, whether invertase is going to catalyze this reaction? No. Okay, proteins to amino acids. Whether invertase catalyze this reaction? Again, no. Means what we are saying, an enzyme can catalyze, an enzyme means an enzyme can catalyze only one type of chemical reaction or a biochemical reaction, but not all reactions. Therefore, we say it is highly specific in nature. So what we are saying, one enzyme cannot catalyze more than one reaction. Okay, in one enzyme cannot catalyze more than one reaction. It catalyzes only one type of reaction. Okay, therefore we are saying it is highly specific in nature. So it is the second characteristics. The first one we said highly efficient in nature, and the second one highly specific in nature. Well, now coming to the third characteristics. Okay, what is the third characteristics? Highly active under optimum temperature. In ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೀವಿ, it is highly active under optimum temperature. Yes, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of this saying is, since whenever if I consider a chemical reaction, say reactions, say reactants are converted into product or products. During this conversion, say we are using a enzyme. So enzyme is catalyzed, used as a catalyst for the process. Now, if I consider operational temperature, means at what temperature that reaction is carried out. As we said, enzymes are biocatalysts. Where they present? They are present in the body. They present in the body of a animals, They are present in the body of animals and plants, right? So here enzymes, or I can say these biocatalysis, which takes place in the body of animals and plants. Now, if I consider the temperature, usually temperature varies from animal, from individual to one individual. That is, there will be variation in the body temperature of animals as well as plants. Now we are on an average. Okay, here we are, whatever the optimum temperature I'm specifying, it is an average of. Okay, not activity, enzyme activity, or I can say enzyme catalysis is high, high in the temperature of 298 to 310 Kelvin. So we know that yes, these biochemical reactions which takes place in the body of either animals or plants. Now here, whenever if I consider enzyme catalysis, yes, enzyme catalysis which takes place in the body of animals or plants, and which is maximum, okay, which is maximum under optimum temperature. Okay, is maximum under optimum temperature, therefore we say highly active under optimum temperature. So what is the optimum temperature range? It is to, how much we are saying, 298. Okay, so 298 Kelvin, 298 Kelvin to 310 Kelvin. So it is the optimum temperature range. At this temperature range, the enzyme activity, or I can say catalysis, will be maximum. Okay, so please remember optimum temperature. So the temperature range in which the enzyme catalysis will be maximum. Therefore, we say highly active under optimum temperature. So, what is the optimum temperature for enzyme catalysis? Yes, what is the range? 298. Please remember these values. 298 to 298 to 310 Kelvin. Okay, it is the optimum temperature range. So whenever if they ask what is the optimum temperature for enzyme catalysis, yes, what is the optimum temperature? 298 to 310 Kelvin. Okay, well, now coming to the pH, the enzyme catalysis, yes, it takes place in the body of a living organisms. As I said here, it takes place in the body of a living organisms. Therefore, that body of a living organism is associated with a particular pH. Okay, is associated with, that is a fluid content which is associated with a particular pH. Now here, if I consider enzyme activity, yes, enzyme activity is also influenced by pH of that fluid content. Okay, so we say here that enzyme catalysis even influenced by the pH of the, okay, animal or plant bodies, generally I can say living organisms. And here also on an average, on analysis, what they noticed is that enzyme catalysis is high or maximum under optimum pH. So optimum pH is, it is 5 to 7. Means if I consider enzyme catalyzed reaction, they are maximum at a particular pH, is called optimum pH. And what is the optimum pH range? It is 5 to 7. Okay, so optimum temperature how much? To, what is the optimum temperature? 28 Kelvin to 310 Kelvin. And what is the optimum pH? 5 to 7. Please remember these values. So the optimum temperature range for enzyme catalysis is 298 to 310 Kelvin, and that of optimum pH, it is 5 to 7. Okay, so it is the one more characteristics, that is highly active under optimum pH. Okay, well, coming to the next characteristic, what it says, increasing activity in presence of activators and coenzymes. So here, if I consider enzyme activity, that enzyme activity can be enhanced or increased. Okay, ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, enzyme activity can be increased or enhanced in presence of activators and coenzymes. Well, here if I consider coenzyme, So the enzymatic activity is increased in presence of certain other substances. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, the enzymatic activity can be increased in presence of certain other substances are called coenzymes. Means coenzymes are nothing but the substances. These are the substances, okay, the substances which increases the activity, okay, activity of enzyme ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು coenzyme ಅಂತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, these are the substances which increases the activity of a enzyme are called coenzymes. Well, similarly, if I consider activators, what are these activators? Activators are nothing but these are the metal ions usually. Okay, the metal ions such as Na plus, Mn2 plus, okay, it is cobalt, CO2 plus, copper 2 plus. These metal ions, when weakly bonded to enzyme molecules, they increases the catalytic activity. Okay, so remember, activators are nothing but they are generally metal ions which enhances the activity of a catalyst. Coenzymes and relatively, they are the substances which increases the activity of a, okay, enzymes other than proteins. Okay, coenzymes are nothing but they are non-proteinaceous. Okay, what we are saying, they are non-proteinaceous substances. These are non-proteinaceous substances which increases the activity of a catalyst are called coenzymes. Further, if I consider activators, what are activators? The metal ions. The metal ions which enhances the activity of a catalyst are called activators. So the enzyme activity can be increased in presence of these substances, that is activators as well as coenzymes. So it is the one more characteristics. Well, now, coming to the next one, influence of inhibitors or I can say poisons. Okay, catalytic poisons anta karitivi, or even they are also called catalytic inhibitors. Catalytic inhibitors or I can say catalytic poisons. Enu, what they will do? Inhibitor. Inhibit means to stop, right? To decrease. Inhibit. Poison. So the meaning of this catalytic inhibitors or catalytic poisons means these are the substances. Okay, what they will do? That is inhibitors, or I can say inhibitors, or they are also called poisons. They interact with the active functional group on the enzyme surface. Okay, say if I consider enzyme, say consider it is an enzyme, it has a active functional group on its surface. Okay, these are the active functional groups. Well, what is the use of these active functional groups? Okay, where they will use? They are used to interact with the substrate. Okay, these active functional groups are used to interact with the substrate molecules. Now, what happens? Say it is an enzyme, and this one is a substrate. Okay, say enzyme, this one is substrate. Now, these active functional groups are now free, right? Which is available to interact with the substrate molecules. So how they interact? So it is the active functional group present on the enzyme surface and is going to interact with what? Is going to interact with the, okay, substrate molecule. Okay, like this. So there will be interaction between enzyme and substrate. But what these inhibitors or poisons will do? These inhibitors, say these inhibitors or I can say poisons, they go and bind. Then they go and bind with the active sites. Say all those active functional groups are, okay, bonded with the what type of substances? So these are the catalytic poisons or I can say they are inhibitors. Now, when active functional groups are occupied by either I can say inhibitors or poisons. Now, what happens? Say it is the active functional group of which is present on the, okay, which is present on the enzyme surface, which is occupied by what? Inhibitors. Now, if I consider the product, sorry, substrate, which is the enzyme. Okay. So the enzyme, the active functional group, which is occupied by inhibitor. Now, when substrate and enzyme come closer to one another, what happens? There is no interaction. There is no interaction between enzyme and a substrate. Means there is no product formation. In the first case, what you analyzed here, say in this case, there is no any inhibitor. Enzyme directly interact with the substrate, so that it leads to formation of a product. Okay, but when inhibitors or poisons are present, what happens? The active functional groups are occupied by inhibitors, so that that functional group is not available to interact with the substrate molecule. In the sense, what happens here? The activity of an enzyme decreases, or you can say often reduces, decreases ಆಗಬಹುದು, or else completely destroy ಕೂಡ ಆಗಬಹುದು. Okay, well, just I go through this statement. Yes, what is that? The inhibitors or poisons interact with what? Interact with the active functional group on enzyme surface, and often it may reduce or completely destroy the catalytic activity of a enzyme. So yes, the characteristics one of the characteristics of a enzyme catalysis is influence of inhibitors and poisons. So what are these inhibitors or poisons? The chemical substances which decreases the activity of a catalyst, are called inhibitors, or they are also called poisons. Okay, well, now when inhibitors are present, what happens? These inhibitors or poisons interact with the active functional group on the enzyme surface, and often reduce or completely destroy the catalytic activity of a enzymes. Okay, well, is the one more characteristics of a enzyme catalysis. Well, so with this, I'm going to conclude about this session. Again, in the next session, we discuss other concept of a surface chemistry. Well, thank you.